I'm Roz, I'm from the Cairns and Far North Environment Centre. I'll try not to take too long, but I'd just like to put a bit of context into my understanding of what's gone on here. And that is, in 2014, Reaver and Sons bought this property with no experience in cattle grazing, but with experience operating resorts. Late 2014, clearing began. The clearing footprint now looks exactly the same as the footprint of the development. I know that the Queensland Government have recently been trying to bring in reform of the Vegetation Management Act. My understanding is that that was never about trying to stop genuine farmers from clearing where they need to clear, but it was about trying to stop inappropriate use or misuse of the current legislation. I'd like to, given the damage that's happened, given the coincidental match it now presents with the development impact, can the panel understand how hard it is to then be asked to engage in consultation in good faith?
Geraldine, would you like to answer that?
Yeah.
Thank you. Can you hear me? I'm a local as well. I spent the last 20 years rehabilitating an old dairy farm on the Atherton Tablelands, and I was disappointed when those clearing laws weren't changed as well. And I've only come on board to this project team with the understanding that they acknowledge what they have done isn't right, that there's an acknowledgement in the community that there is no trust. And my definition of trust is repeated successful transactions. And to this point in time, that hasn't occurred. There's been repeated unsuccessful transactions, and they're in the red. They're way in the red. So I agreed to come along to this meeting tonight. We don't have to be here according to the law, but I agree, and I work all over the world in places where there is no law, and what we do is we go out and we consult with the community because that's what's right. So that's what we're doing here tonight. We're here to listen to you primarily, to understand your concerns. And I know that this is a really short amount of time, so that's why I want to hear what your concerns are. I want them on those pieces of sticky. I want them up there at the back so that we take them back as a team. We go to the proponent and we help him understand what's important in this community. And only from my perspective, if there are more benefits that come from this, then there is harm should it go ahead. And that's part of our job as a project team, is to gather all that information, to understand where the benefits are. And as I said, I live on the Atherton Tablelands. I've got children that have moved away from here because there are no opportunities, and that's what we'll be looking at. What are the opportunities for our young people? We have the second highest unemployment rate in the country for our young people. We have 3 times the national average of not just unemployment, but disengagement of our young women. They're not even looking for jobs. So what we want to do for this project is see where the opportunities are for our young people, for our Indigenous people, and make sure that that's considered in the work that we do. And only if that balances against the environmental harm should this project go ahead.
I'm back again. But it's been a long ride from 1962 to 2016, and all I wanted to know is, are you gonna scratch my back and I'll scratch your back?
Who would you like to answer that question? Oh, Geraldine, you're going to. Thank you, Geraldine.
Mario, we'd love to talk to you. Please come and see us afterwards. We're, you know, Indigenous people, we're the people who are most harmed in this country. You know, you're the people that we want to speak to first.
I'd just like to say,
Why I asked that question is what? When this school was built and the escalation was going on down the back here, you know what? The escalator came up with a lot of stone axes, spears and whatever. And in my tribe, when things are buried in the ground, they stay there. This BARNWELL thing, there was a big camp along there, aboriginal camp of the Djabugay people. And the clan group of that group of people, they are still alive today. And if you want to talk to me, talk with my clan.
Over here. Front here.
Yes, I'd just like to go back to the issue earlier about the Coordinator General. He's an unelected representative. It seems that nobody here is willing or able to say that they actually make a decision about this in the end, and it's actually the Coordinator General who in the end will say yes or no. Someone who's not elected by any of us, and all of our elected officials apparently are unable or unwilling to say whether they support it or not. So come the next election, can you tell us who we should be voting for? Because we'll have no idea whether we're voting for someone who supports it or not.
Sorry about the equipment. There's someone here is very concerned about being at the right height.
Bottom line is the council make the final decision. If, as that lady suggested, the state decided to, they could actually overrule us. But the chances of that happening, you know.
According to Craig.
No, the Coordinator General can pull it. As far as who you can vote for, that's a choice you'll come.
We should ask the Coordinator General for the next meeting.
Sarah, could you just, Sarah, there's a lady here and then the gentleman at the back there.
I just have I can't use this. Just a general comment that the ladies seem to have genuine concern about our opinion or concerns. But you know, the council was talking the same before the elections. If anybody find the brochures, what they've written, right, they would listen to us, pay our attention, and do our bidding for us, because that's what they are there for, right? Not for private developers. Now, another point I was trying to make, when we move in, we wanted water, drill it down. You paid from your own pocket. You want sewage, put septic tank down. No council would help us. Electricity will pay for your towers. You want telephone, pay for this. Now, we are looking at increased costs for fireys, fire brigades, ambulance, hospitals, the main roads, sewage, electricity, which, if anyone can take a joke, how many blackouts did we had? I mean, I've been here for 25 years. It used to go out once every week. Well, now it's not so much, but the candles are still on the table, I guarantee you, right? And it's not even blowing. So what else do we have? Telephone, internet, which is still not existent. I'm still waiting after 10 years. It's not funny. Oh, well, where do I start? Now, okay. Maybe we should make all Queenslanders aware that this is not just actually our increase in costs. They are looking at the whole, but maybe they think, well, if we spread it among the Queenslanders, it's not so bad. So they might complain for a while, but they just pay it. I mean, what else, right? And if you any guys thinking of moving, well, council doesn't care because someone else will buy you land.
Thank you very much for listening.
Good evening. My question is, the developer made an application to have road closures on that property. There were easements that people could apply to have a road put through to get to their properties. Can someone tell me if those roads were resumed or whether they were closed, and if they were handed to the developer or they had to buy them?
You're correct. There are a number of internal roads that are gazetted roads that we have made an application to close because they're internal to the actual property itself. We've made an application with the state to close those roads, and that process is ongoing. We're still waiting to hear back from them. So there is internal roads there, yes. We've made an application to close them, and we don't have any idea about timing or when that may or may not occur.
We have to buy it.
And the other thing is, yes, we have to buy it back. Yeah.
So is that under the Department of Natural Resources?
Yes, it is.
Now, will they have the decency to notify us about their determination, if we're the ones that are affected?
I don't know whether the Department of Natural Resources and Mines will contact you or not, sir. There'll be notices where, Craig?
Yeah, DNRM normally do a notification.
DNRM, Craig's just informed me, will normally do a notification period for local community. Yeah.
What is the process for objecting to those road closures?
You could always address any concerns to the Department of Natural Resources and Mines. That's who we've made the applications to.
You know more about it, maybe. There was a formal objection period when Stuart Ricketts was our planner at the time, so nobody here tonight was actually involved with that. But when it was first proposed, there were advertisements. Legally, you've got to put advertisements in all of the local papers, and it invites objections. There was an objection period. I believe it's about 30 days. And look, that was many months ago now. So they consider the objections, and I don't know what was received, but you've got there's a process anyway, and the process was followed.
There was an objection period during March, I believe. Joe, is that right? Yeah, during March. No, February, March.